Hey guys, we're back in the Dodge. This is a 2004 2500 Cummins, and the other day the ABS light came on. The truck didn't change the way it was driving other than the lights were on, and what we got was that ABS light, and in the center we have a brake light. So I pulled the codes up on the scanner I got here, and we have code 37 intermittent signal from rear sensor and code 35 rear sensor open. So on these trucks there's just one sensor in the back for the ABS, and that's right on the axle itself. And sometimes it's just a bad connection, sometimes there's a broken wire in the harness, or sometimes there's an issue in the differential itself where the sensor picks up on the ring gear. So I don't think this differential's ever had a fluid change, so I'm going to go ahead and do that and pull the cover off and inspect everything and kind of see what we have here. So I'll go ahead and get started on that and see what we come up with. Okay, we're underneath the Dodge, right behind the rear axle here. Yeah, I wanted to take a second to show you where this sensor is for the ABS. So if you go right up on top, it's actually towards the back of, or I guess it'd be the front of the pumpkin at this point, but there's a sensor right back there that goes right into the housing, and it's pretty easy to pull off. There's one bolt that holds it, and there's an O-ring that kind of holds it in place inside the housing. But we'll go ahead and get started, pull this cover off of the differential, drain the oil, and kind of inspect everything and see what's going on here. Well guys, look how milky that is. I don't know if you can see it well, but it is, yeah, it's awful. So it's good that we're changing it. I am likely going to do the front end as well now that I'm seeing this. You know, this truck isn't really off-roaded, so but I guess over time a lot of moisture has gotten into the oil. This might explain why the sensor's no good. I don't really see any metal coming out of the oil, but it's still kind of early. I always leave the top bolt on. It controls the oil flow coming out a little easier. Alright, so looking at the differential here, obviously the oil is in pretty terrible condition, but the ring gear looks amazing. It's kind of hard to see the other gears, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing here. You know, I wasn't really a big fan of Dodge, but since working on this 04 Cummins here, yeah, this is an awesome truck. So everything's huge that needs to be big, that's important. So, but yeah, I think these are called tone rings here for the ABS, but yeah, all that looks good. So for how bad the oil looks, it's likely just a sensor or a wiring issue. So I'll clean this up as best I can here to get most of this oil out. Likely what's going to happen is I'll change this oil and maybe do another oil change in, you know, 5-10,000 miles just to get all this oil out that obviously has been contaminated with moisture. So far it's looking good. Alright, so to get this sensor off, there's a nut holding on these lines here. That's a 13 mil, and I think the one underneath it that actually holds the sensor is a 15 mil. So we'll go ahead and get that set up. Maybe I could hold the light up here or something like that. So I'll go ahead and take that off here. means that these lines could pop off here. Okay. There's your sensor. Just push down, and that'll come off. And then we got, I think, a 15. Yep. So that's a 15 on for just the sensor. Okay, comes right off. All right, I'm back here with some pliers. I'm gonna try to pry it up too with a screwdriver if I can. Okay, there she goes. A little bit tricky to get out. We'll take a look at it here. So this is it exactly how it came out. One concern I had was if I was going to find a lot of metal shavings, and there really isn't too much on here. So everything looks good that it's a sensor. It was a little bit of a pain to get out. I had to pry a little screwdriver underneath this tab here and twist it with some pliers, but so far all the signs kind of point to the sensor or possibly a wiring issue, but the wiring underneath the truck does look pretty well. But what will likely happen if I don't see anything obvious, I'll put the sensor back in, take it for a test drive. If it doesn't check out, then we'll start investigating a little deeper. So the rear end takes about 4 quarts from what I read. I think the actual specs call for like 75, 90 or something like that, but I have some GL5 80 W90, which will be close enough, and it's just the O'Reilly's store brand. So this thing here, actually, I just made the other day. It's a air-powered oil filler to make life a little easier. And I made a video on that, by the way, too, if you want to check it out. Holds just about a gallon, so this should get us really close. All right, let's go fill it up. So it took the full gallon exactly, so I guess that's pretty convenient. So we'll tighten this up and we'll go give it a test drive and see if that fixed it. If not, we'll keep investigating. So we took her for a test drive, and by the time I made it out to the driveway, the ABS check engine light and the brake light were off, and they never came back on. I cleared the codes afterwards, and they haven't showed up since then. So it looks like the sensor was the issue, which was nice. And that should be it. If you got any questions, let me know.